not as early as I wanted to get started. It is 8:30 on the dot. My plan was to get up this morning at 6, send John off to work and hit the kitchen running. But it didn't quite work out that way for me. I had to, of course, send John off to work. Had to work on making sure I got a video going. I have to, the video for tomorrow is a pretty long one. So I wanted to go ahead and get it started because our internet lags and it's just a mess. And if I can use it without using my phone, I prefer just to use the Wi-Fi. So, yeah, I wanted to get that started. I had to go out and feed animals, freshen up water, but I had to clean all the waters for the animals, refill all the waters. It's finally summer around here. June was pretty cool, which we appreciated. We was out of air for 3 weeks of June. We still don't have air. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, but it's hot, so I have to make sure that they're, you know, they have an abundance of fluids. So I've done all of that. And then I went ahead and cleaned out the nesting boxes. I don't like to do the nesting boxes during the day because there's almost always somebody sitting in one of them. So I like to do that first thing in the morning because there's nobody in it. So I got the nesting boxes cleaned out, refreshed, all the animals taken care of, got all the business done out there. And then I had to come in and I reorganized yesterday, well, rearranged stuff yesterday. And this wall back here, it still was bare because we ran some errands. We ran some errands yesterday, and then by the time that I got started, I didn't have time to completely finish it because it takes a pretty good while, especially moving the hutch and the coffee barks. You have to, you know, move like 90% of the stuff off of it, move it, put it back. I always like to clean it as I put it back, you know, dust everything. So it takes a while. I worked on that for hours. So I finished up putting that stuff on the wall just because I thought, what if I catch angle of that and it's just a plain wall and it will irritate me, because that's the kind of person I am. If I know something isn't how it's supposed to be, it irritates me. So I got that done. It is now 8:33 because I've been talking that long. We have a whole list of meal prep / pantry prep that we're gonna do today. I just decided to do this last week and I've slowly been adding stuff to it. I'm going to get tonight's dinner going. We're gonna have Italian drip chicken. Now, people typically do beef, but in one of my groups I'm in, somebody mentioned, you know, what is a meal that your family can make and it never goes to waste, or, you know, people really enjoy it. And I had mentioned Mississippi chicken. People came in there and said, what's Mississippi chicken? And I told them what it is. It's Mississippi pork, but you use chicken instead. And somebody said that they thought that was a good idea because I told them that we don't like the fat typically that comes along with pork. And she said, I wonder if you could do Italian drip chicken like you do beef. And I looked it up and it looks delicious. And so we're gonna try that. We're gonna do Italian drip chicken. I got some recipes. This is something else I did this morning. I like to just have physical copies of stuff, especially if I'm cooking and stuff. I don't want to be scrolling a screen with my dusty fingers. So I printed off the recipe that I found that day that she was telling me about it. It is the Pioneer Woman's slow cooker drip beef sandwiches. We're going to do everything like this says. I think most of what this says, minus we're going to use chicken. And I'm also going to put my crock pot on the back porch. I put my little table out there this morning as well. See, I've been on a roll this morning, but I put one of my little tables out there because I don't want to do anything that heats the house up whatsoever. And I know they say crock pot cooking is better than stovetop cooking. I would like to argue that it's not, but that's just me. That's my personal opinion and my personal experience with it. So I'm going to put the crock pot on the back porch and use it that way. That's the exact same way that I did last year when our air conditioner tore up. Last year it was the outside unit that had to be completely replaced. Hoping that's not the same. But this year it is the inside unit that's tore up. Definitely hoping that it's not the same. The AC guy came out, and I think I've already told you this, but the AC guy already came out and looked at it, and the way that it's set up, it has lights that blink, and the blinking lights are the codes of what's wrong with it. It's giving 2 codes. He ordered both parts. We have our fingers crossed it'll fix it. We're not 100% sure, so we're really hoping that it fixes it though, because I don't want to have to replace the inside unit. I just don't. I don't want to. Anyways, we're gonna get to cooking because we've been talking too much this morning. Okay, so I think we're gonna start with the sauce because I don't think the chicken will take as long as a whole cut of beef would take. Because I think I have like just chicken breasts anyway, and so they're usually typically like thinner. Anyways, we're gonna give it, I'll start it after this. We're going to make the sauce, like I said, and then I also have to water bath it. I'm gonna do that out on the porch as well. The electric canner I've got, I don't think it really warm it up in here too much, especially with you having to water bath it. However, I don't want to warm it up at all if I don't have to. Or you cute. This is smooth jars, and it just has a little ball emblem on the bottom of it, and that's it. But I had to buy some more jars because I was almost out, and the girls was fussing at me because I was using all the jars. I think they'll like these better though. I was using all of the jars to can in because I've canned potatoes and canned pinto beans twice. And they like to drink out of these, and they like to make their snow cones or ices or whatever in these. They like to be able to see it to make sure that, you know, it's cute for one, and then two, make sure that the make sure the syrup gets all the way to the bottom. So I bought some more. I always see people posting about finding them for a good deal. Tamara has really good luck. She finds them for good deals at like Goodwill. I find like the jars that you buy at Dollar General for $1 already, find them at Goodwill for $1. Everybody else is finding them for like a quarter a jar, and I don't have that kind of luck. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get it started. I am just using canned tomato sauce because that's what we've got. It's not quite tomato season here, and I thought about buying some tomatoes. All of the tomatoes that I'm growing are ℂ𝕠𝕟𝕠𝕟, so they're like funky. They're all weird different colors. Goodness gracious. The only red tomatoes I'm growing currently are these little guys and the spoon tomatoes that will soon be coming up. And the spoon tomatoes are super tiny. That's why I done them, because they're cute. And I don't want to can with these. So I thought about buying some. There's a local farm just right down the road from us. And they was already advertising that they have some ready. And so I was thinking, I was really close to just buying some of those to make some, why did I turn the oven on? Oh, because I thought I could open kettle cook them. Anyways, to make some salsa and some spaghetti sauce, but I haven't yet. I might still do that. I'm not sure about making salsa with my tomatoes either. It might look ugly, but it also might look cute. So we'll figure that out when we get that far in life. But for now, I also think like I've got some yellow and some like yellowy purple looking ones. If any of those survived, because I don't know what all survived. Those might look cute. Some funky looking spaghetti sauce. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. But for now, we're going to use our already made tomato sauce here. I'm gonna go ahead and get it going. I thought it called for this, and it doesn't. It calls for diced tomatoes or, you know. But I'm gonna add 1 can of diced tomatoes to it, just to give it just a little bit of chunk. Wendy don't like chunk, but I prefer chunk. So we're gonna compromise the whole batch. Just wanna have 1 thing of this. All right, if I talk through this entire thing, it's gonna be a 4-hour video. So I'm just gonna have to shut my mouth and put some music over it because I don't know why I'm so talkative. It's way too early to be this talkative. It is what it is.
Let's say it's a boat that we're all in together, that barely your ways. How long till the break of dawn? How long till it days? How long till the break of dawn? How long till it days? How long till it days? How long till it days?
Alright, so this is the first time that I tried making these hoagie rolls. These kind of small, you'll see that. They actually ended up, especially for me and the kids, they ended up being like the perfect size because it was, you know, a single serving. So, I mean, it was fine. It was okay. However, I'm thinking next time I might try to fancy them up a little bit. You know, try to make more like the rolls that we get from Subway, which for the family, it is the Italian urban cheese. And me, I always preferred the honey oat that they don't have anymore, but it was still my favorite. I tried to make some homemade before, and they turned out really good. So we'll see. I might play around with the recipe. It's definitely a keeper. Definitely not my favorite, but it was okay.
You know, rinse it in my fridge. Well, maybe this is the
Alright, and we let this boil for 25 minutes, and I put my jars in the stove to warm up. However, I only put 5 in, and this ended up making 6 quarts. So you'll see that, I think I mentioned it later on, but I just kettle cooked one of them. Now, I'm not an expert canner. Like, I'm not even good at it, to be honest. It's just something that I recently started doing, like literally within the last few weeks is when I really started canning a lot. Before that, I'd only used the electric pressure canner once, and I used it to water bath that time. So, I mean, we're new, like I said. So, don't take any advice from me, please. But yeah. Anyways, I've properly water bathed 5 of these. The pressure canner will only hold 5. So, the other one I just hot kettle methoded. I used hot kettle on it and open kettle. Either way, I don't really know what I'm talking about, but that's what I did for one of them. So I stored it upside down so that I could tell the difference, but ends up I can tell the difference anyways because I water bathed it in city water, so they have a little like residue stuff on the outside that I have to clean off once they're completely set up. So anyways, I stored it upside down, and we're going to be using it first. That's the whole moral of the story. We're going to use that one first. Typically, when I can something, we will eat some within days. A lot of times that exact same day. Simply because I like to try stuff after I can it. And canning's a little bit different than, actually just kitchen cooking, because you can't take bites out of the pot because it's in a jar. So, anyways, we're going to finish these up here. They're super hot, so I will have to use a towel the whole time. And I started out with my oven mitt, but I just felt safer with the towel. But we're just going to get them all here canned up, jarred up. You see what we're doing here. And then we will get some hot water in the water bath, and we'll take it out and get it finished.
In the door, I could have sworn I've seen your face before. So glad that you said hi, 'cause I was way too shy. What would have happened if you just had passed me by the night? We keep on drinking, keep on wishing for someone out there to hold. All those little you didn't catch me looking over your shoulder, just at the right time. Those little moments all led me to you. Only God was fate or a part of his plan. Giving me you was like giving me another chance. Thank God that you said hi, 'cause I was way too shy. What would have happened if you just had passed me by the night? We keep on drinking, keep on wishing for someone out there to love. All those little moments.
Pancake mix. I don't remember the recipe that I used last time. I think I might have even had it in the video, but I don't feel like going back and finding it. So I just found me another one. This is called Good Old Fashioned Pancakes. It was like rated 4.5, 5 stars. I'm gonna just make, I'm just gonna combine the dry ingredients, and then the wet ingredients, we can do that once we're gonna make them. So, this, I don't know how much this makes. Doesn't really say, I don't think. But I'm just gonna mix up a batch, and then if I need more, I'll just make more. I think I'm gonna need more. I don't know how much will fit in this. Pretty sure I could do 2 though. We might see. Yeah, we're gonna do a double batch of it. It'll fit just fine. The girls have been enjoying pancakes lately, and they make those themselves. So that means something I kind of get out of, but they was running out of pancake mix. So Mama had to make some more. I put too much sugar in my sugar container. Trying to get it used up a little bit. You know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and do. Well, let me add this so I don't forget. I'm just gonna go ahead and do all of this. Or a lot of baking powder. 7, 8, 9. And we're just gonna use 10 and call it good. That's like half less than it's supposed to be, but close enough. We need another 1.5 cups of flour. And you're supposed to sift this, but yeah, no, I didn't want to do that. I'll just mix it up in the container here and call it good enough. You still won't shut more than it would. All right. I might take a spoon and fork or whatever and stir it a little bit. Just a little bit, and then I will stir it up good when I get the lid on it. Just make sure we give it a good shake. Make sure we hold the lid so it don't fall off. Once I get the pasta sauce canned out there after the water bath is done anyway, I think I want to take the toaster oven out there and make some of these cupcakes. Today is the 4th of July for the world, for the nation anyways. I mean, if you're somewhere else other than the US, you don't care about it, but I'm gonna make these as a little festive treat. We should have rolled out today, but we've been wanting this. I have been. Anyways, we're gonna make these in a little bit. It'll take a little bit longer because I have to do them 6 at a time, but I don't want to risk heating the house up any more than I have to. It's already very humid outside, and it's not even 10 o'clock yet, so we just cook on the back porch. Live like the old days. They didn't cook on the porch in the old days. Either way, you get what I mean. Probably don't, because I don't even understand. We're gonna go ahead and get the Italian. This doesn't say Italian drip. Is this the right recipe that I wanted to use? I want to use it anyway. We're going to get theirs going now because it's 10 o'clock. So 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If it takes 8 hours, it'll be done at 6. I don't think it's going to take the chicken breast 8 hours. Like I said, it is not a big, like 2.5 pound chunk roast. Close enough. It is not that. It is just chicken breast. So I'm just going to put some in here. I got 2 bags of like partial bags. That was actually probably quite a bit, to be honest, of that 3-pound bag. And then this 5-pound bag only has one big honking piece of chicken in it. We're just going to use all of it. If it's good, we'll eat leftovers if we need it. If we have them, goodness gracious. Yeah. So I'm only halfway going to follow the recipe because for some reason I thought you needed a pack of Italian seasoning, like the dry stuff. And so I had to wait to buy that. And I bought it, and it don't even call for it on here. But it calls for fresh rosemary, and then onion, and I think that's it. But we're not going to do that. I'm just going to put the Italian seasoning on it. It calls for pepperoncinis, right? I think so. That my printer messed it up there. I looked it up. I think it's pepperoncinis. We don't never use those. We prefer banana peppers. So we're sort of following the recipe. We're sort of not. I'm also not using beef broth. I'm going to just powder on sprinkle on some powdered chicken bouillon and then add a cup of water. But anyways, I'll get the rest of the stuff and show you. I forgot that I wanted to make an angel food cake today. So now I'm debating if I want to make the cupcakes or make an angel food cake. I really don't think I want to make the angel food cake because it's quite a bit of work, especially when I've already got so much done and I'm getting ready to do more. I got to get this out there cooking, and then still going to do our tortillas. I have decided 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have decided I'm not going to do. What am I not going to do right now? I'm not going to do the calzones today because that's just no, ma'am, you can't eat that. We had a bad experience with the dog eating too much bread once. Didn't go well. I'm not going to do the calzones today because I'm already using the bread maker and I don't want to use the bread maker again. So we'll probably put that off. I didn't need that, like it wasn't anything that we had planned on using this week. I just wanted to get some prepped. So we'll probably put that off until maybe next week or maybe later this week. Maybe I'll just try it out on my own, and then if they're good when we make them again, share it with you guys. I don't know. I also wish I would have bought like take and toss pans so I could have prepped some of the squash au gratin. I think I'm gonna put that off as well. But so I could have prepped a couple of those and put them in the deep freeze and, you know, froze them for meals, as well as go ahead and do 2 things of macaroni and cheese because I have to have it 1 meal this week and 1 meal next week. So I wish I would have done that as well, but I didn't think about buying take and toss kind of pans. And I don't want to use my good pans and have them in the freezer either. So, anyways, it's fine. It smells good. I do with the, oh, here it is. No, I'm not going to measure. I'll toss some of this on here. And then add, I think it needed 1 cup of broth, so we're going to add 1 cup of water. 1 cup of water, just gonna gently pour it over this. And then I'm gonna I'll just pour into this. Pour a little bit of this banana pepper juice into it as well. I really didn't want to cook anymore in the house, but I didn't have to. However, wrong one. I didn't start John's rice bowls, and I really wanted to get some more of those made and prepped in the freezer. I'd done it last week. When I moved the stuff around yesterday, I found one of Clovis's favorite toys. I made him some of this last week, and I ended up making 4 servings of it. I froze 3 of them and they worked beautifully. I just loosened the lid, popped them in the microwave, and good as new. And he got a healthy, quick meal. So I wanted to prep some more of those this week we try to feed him a lot. I mentioned this, and I mentioned it multiple times, and I'll mention it again. We're not big eaters when it's super hot. However, John he works a very strenuous job. He's outside a lot, which we're all outside a lot, but he has no choice but to be outside. And he's not just out there gingerly walking through the garden or sitting on the porch reading or, doing fun stuff. He's out there doing super hard work. Like today, he is putting metal on a building, I think. So, he needs the energy from food, so we force feed him multiple meals a day. I try to make him eat at least 2, sometimes 3 meals when he's home, and that's with him working. If he's home all day, he obviously eats more than that. So having this is a good quick meal. If he gets home at like say 3 o'clock or so, I can kind of get him to eat one of these, and then he can eat dinner, and then he can eat a nighttime snack or whatever. So he always needs a lot of food, but especially in the summer, it's hot, nobody wants to eat, but he needs his energy, and he always typically loses some weight in the summer because he's one of the lucky ones. I mean, you lose weight sometimes when you're trying, but he's obviously not trying. So we do have to try to force feed him in the summertime. So this rice and beef bowls, I just call them rice bowls, they are a good thing to have on hand. So something I started trying to do was have them on hand. So it's just rice, some steamed vegetables, and some ground beef. So I'm going to get the rice going. Once the rice is almost done, we'll brown up the ground beef, and then the vegetables will just, I don't even think do I need to? I'll go ahead and steam them. I was like, do I even need to steam them if I'm going to cook them when the rice is, because he's not eating any right now. But just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and steam those. So while we get the rice going, I'm going to go ahead and do the tortillas, and then we will be done for the day, minus finishing up dinner and sharing that and finishing up the hoagie rolls. So pretty excited about that. And I'm going to make those cupcakes. We'll include it, but we're not going to include it. And then I think we're done for the day. Not mad about it. So yeah, there was some stuff that I wanted to do, but I kind of put them off until a different day, maybe a different video, we'll see. But anyways, make some tortillas. A little scared, so fingers crossed. And I put the rice away, and I seen this and these, and we have strawberries, so I'm also going to go ahead and whip up some of them for the kids. They really enjoy them anyway, so might as well add it to the list. Right, because why not? What did I do with the cupcakes? Did I take them back to the pantry? Okay, they're over there. Anyways, onto the tortillas. She's making Philly cheesesteak on this video or something. It looks delicious. Pretty similar to what we're gonna have. Not really, but we can pretend. So this is gonna be my first time ever making, is this the cup side? Yeah. My first time ever making tortillas. So we're not sure how they're gonna go. Like I said, I didn't need them right now, but I really wanted to try them out. We've even got some in there from the store-bought ones. So I just want to see how they are homemade. We might do some sort of lunch where we need tortillas so we can try them out. Sounds good. Like little ham and cheese roll up. We might do that. Alright, so now we need 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And 2/3, I think that's what it says. I need to look it up. I don't know, I should have paid closer attention or the recipe wasn't working. Yeah, I didn't feel that that was enough. It's 1 2/3, so let me get another cup.
Cheryl lives down in the south, working at the Waffle House, has a second job at midnight. when it's time to leave. Cost $7.50, never seems to pay the rent. You gotta have a trick or two that's hidden up your sleeve. But living ain't a magic act, days are long and that's a fact. Money still ain't quite enough for her and all the kids. Times have changed, she always says, the good old days are gone and dead. But she tucks the kids into their bed like mama always did. But it's hard when you ain't got nobody, and it's hard when nowhere feels like home.
Y'all, I'm gonna give you a little tip, especially if you're anything like me and like being in the kitchen and cooking relaxes you and whatnot. But if you're ever just needing to kind of escape, but also you can't escape because you have to be there, I highly suggest that you go make some kind of bread, something that you have to knead with your hands, because this is just so comforting to me. Maybe it won't be to you, but like I said, if you enjoy being in the kitchen, if you enjoy making things, I think it would be a great comfort to you. This morning, while I'm working on editing this video, I'm feeling a little funky, I guess you could say. Not in a sick way, but just like a little funk. And I'm watching this back and I'm thinking, I really need to just go make some bread, knead some bread. So I might go make me some bread, but yeah, this is just so comforting to me for whatever reason. Just the transformation that goes along with bread. I'm very much into metaphors, and if you ever talk to me in chat, you will know that. I'm very much into metaphors and doing things like making bread or making food in the kitchen or gardening. Gardening is just a very magical season for me, because just like bread, you know, it shows that you can make something beautiful from nothing. Like flour alone doesn't do anything. Yeast alone doesn't do anything. You know, water, whatever, all of the things that it takes to make any sort of bread alone, they're nothing. But when you bring all the ingredients together, it creates something very special. And, you know, and it just shows that sometimes things that may not be good by themselves, like you wouldn't want to go eat just some flour, or, you know, things that aren't good by themselves, when they're with other things, when other things bring out good qualities in them and whatnot, that it makes something beautiful and delicious. So while sometimes it's a little irritating, especially when you're trying to shape a dough into the right shape and you don't know what you're doing, or if you have to wait and be patient while it rises, in the end, it's usually worth it. And when you don't actually achieve something, even then, you're not technically failing. Like the saying goes, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. You're wondering why there's one upside down. My pressure canner would only hold 5, and so I just used the hot kettle method for that one. Turn it upside down. We'll eat that one first. We'll probably open that within the next few days. That way we can test it out, see how we like it. That way if we know whether to buy more of the packets or not. So that is why that's like that, just in case you didn't know. That is the downside of using the electric. We're already in business, but that is the downside of using an electric canner, is it only does 5 pints at a time. So it is what it is, though. We don't care.
I like to make some time to take a deep breath and relax and enjoy the garden. Sometimes you have to just get a
Alright, and I did just use the leftover little flour that was from the tortillas to use as a dusting base for the hoagie rolls, because there was no reason to waste it. It's pretty much the same, you know, it's the same ingredients, just a little bit different. So that's why you've seen little chunks in the flour, because I just thought there was no reason to waste it. I just wanted to throw that out there. I wasn't using old flour. I mean, technically I was, but it was fine. Okay. It's okay to mix stuff like that, says the girl that technically doesn't know what she's doing, but she's doing it anyway. So, yeah, it didn't hurt it any, and I didn't waste all the flour that was in that bowl, because I had put some in that as I was turning the tortillas into hockey pucks, because that's the description it gave me on the recipe. So turn her down. I want to get the hamburger going for John's bowls. I'm not sure what I need. Probably about a pound. And then I'll have the rest. It's not about a pound. It's like a third of this 2 1/4 pack. And then I will use the rest. I'll divide that into 2 and I will pop that in the freezer because I don't need it out. And the way that I preserve it for the freezer or whatever, super quick thawing. If I needed it in 30 minutes, we could use it because of the way I do it. So I figured we'd share that. I'm sure you've heard of it before. Let me wash my hands. I'm sure you've heard of it or seen it before, but just in case you haven't, because it has definitely been a game changer for me. Now I like to overly flavor my meat and my rice. That way, whenever I go to make the bowls, when they're frozen, I add a little bit of water, and that is what gives it the broth. John likes his things like this soupy and whatnot, so I will overly season it. I can always add more though, I mean, obviously, and sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll add a little bit more like chicken broth or something. Usually cooks better when you turn it on. Now what I'm going to do, I like the other bags better. These are the ones that's like the stand up kind of whatnot. For doing this, I like the other ones better, but this is all we had, so we make do with them. I'm going to take my piece of meat. Now I'll use this in place of a recipe when it says 1 pound of beef. Unless it's like burgers or something, which typically I buy patties for that. But I learned that you can use less of the meat with very little difference, like you don't even really know. Especially you can add more vegetables, more rice, whatever the recipe calls for it. And you barely notice, but meat is the expensive part of meals. So it makes it's a good compromise. If you're being moved around, it's her fault. But I don't remember where I learned this trick, but I've just recently started actually using it because it does take a little bit more time. However, when you need it, it's there. Like you can pull this out and it'll be thawed in definitely an hour, but usually less than 30 minutes it's thawed. You could even just throw it into a pan, probably on low heat with it frozen, and crumble it up if you're doing something like that. Super quick anyways, and this has been very much helpful for me. So like I said, it takes longer in the prep work, but it's worth it in the end.
I watch the rain streak down our window. never dreamed it'd get this bad. Like a fool I assumed our troubles would just dissipate. Why do we wait to change until it's too late? We're a cauldron on the fire, ready to erupt, with the blood moon sinking over us. But it ain't over till it's over. Cut the darkness with a flame. A single word can bring you closer. Break the silence with a whisper. There comes a swift and gentle aid. When you call upon the name, Jesus, Jesus. I feel the pull in all directions. I hear the bullets ricochet. I look around and see the whole world breaking. Oh, where do you go to hide when nowhere feels safe? I'm a vessel on the waves, sinking with the weight. How the deep prevails to swallow me up. But it ain't over till it's over. You can cut the darkness with a flame. A single word can bring you closer. You break the silence with a whisper. A swift and gentle aid. When you call upon the name, Jesus, Jesus.
This was definitely one of my sometimes you win, sometimes you learn moments. Well, technically I didn't learn. Well, what I did learn was that I did not know what I was doing and didn't do these correctly. I know they sell like tortilla presses, and you know, if I'm going to be doing it, maybe I'll buy one of those. But I just don't see buying one of those unless I'm going to use it all the time, or I can find it super cheap. Anyways, yeah, I didn't do this right. Most of them come out funky, like they was not round at all. And I know that a lot of that had to do with the way that I was using my rolling pin. I had a very small working space, and that played part in it as well. See, look at that failure. But, I mean, they're not cute. They need a lot of improvement. I will definitely be watching a YouTube video on them before I attempt them again.
I can't let you go, baby. I just want to tell you that. No, 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 no. Yeah. All of my friends say, girl, you better take care. 'Cause that man is trouble, you best beware. And though deep down, I know I might be headed for teardrops. Now that you got me started, I just can't stop. No, no. 'Cause I love you, baby. I can't let you go.
So here they are. They're not exactly what my dreams are made of. The color's a little off. I expected them to be white, but I did use bread flour, unbleached bread flour. I don't know if that would make a difference. And then like this one is a little bit more dark, and I think that's because I was spraying the pan. I quit spraying the pan. Well, the whatever that thing is. I quit spraying it, and I think it made a difference. So they don't taste exactly like, I don't know what you expect a tortilla to taste like. It's a little bit more chewy. They're a little bit more thick, definitely, but they taste really good. Like, I'm okay with them. I like them. I would definitely make them again. Maybe this is more like a chalupa that's not fried, but they're okay. Like I said, they need some work. We'll work on it, but it is what it is. Okay, so we're going to be aiming for 3 of the rice bowls. These are what I'm using. Nothing fancy, just cheap. So I'm gonna go ahead and I cooked the beef a little bit too long, which is fine. Might be enough rice for 4 instead of 3, but I don't know. Anyways, I cooked the beef a little bit longer than I wanted to because I left it on the burner while I was working on the other stuff. It's fine. It's okay. So John likes his meat browned anyway, so we'll just pretend that I did it on purpose. Nobody asked. We don't go to jail, so. I'm just gonna go ahead and make this work for 3. Now you could just throw these in a bowl, put the rice down, and then the meat on top. I just like to do it this way for no reason other than that's the kind of person I am. I compromised with the vegetables. Like I didn't know how to cook them, like how long I should cook them for. So I cooked them for 3 minutes. They're supposed to cook for 5 to 6. So I just put them in there for 3 minutes. That way they're at least, you know, halfway done before I could even eat these if I wanted to. I typically don't like the plainness of them, to be honest. But I could just easily add some teriyaki sauce or something on top, and it would be perfectly fine. It would be delicious. So I do enjoy these as well. So I say rice bowls for John. That's because he's the one that I'm making them for. Level it up here a little bit. Then just pop the lid on and pop them in the freezer, and we're good to go. And here we are at 1 o'clock or close to it, preheating our oven to 400 degrees, even though I did not want to heat up my house. I tried to get started early so that it would not be doing it this late. It didn't quite work out for me. But we have to get the hoagies done, and so I thought since I had to do them anyways in the house, I might as well just go ahead and bake the cupcakes really quick. It wasn't going to add too much heat in here, just to go ahead and do those as well. So we're going to get the hoagies egg washed. No, they didn't call for this, but I wanted to do it, so I just mixed egg with a little bit of honey, and then we're going to egg wash it with that. But yeah, I would decided just to go ahead and make the cupcakes in the house. I went with doing the mini ones, and I also decided I was going to do half cookies and half cupcakes. So that's what we did. Now, all I do when I do this, because it's something I do pretty often, I will make half of a cake mix. Usually I just will grasp about half of it in my hand and not let it fall out of the package. But here lately, I've been taking the extra time and just cutting the package in half. It's a little bit more work. You got to be careful or it will make a bigger mess. But I just made half of it into cupcakes. So I just, whatever the recipe said on the back of the box, I just halved that. And then for the cake mix cookies, again, I just went and wrote down what I needed because I never remember. And I just halved that as well. So I'll try to remember and link it. It's super easy. I think it's like half a cup of oil and 2 eggs if you're using a whole box of cake mix. So yeah, I just wanted to do a little bit of dancing, obviously. I was listening to my playlist and CC whining. No, this was Davy Flowers. But either way, they was both giving my soul what I needed during this time. But I'm just going to get them mixed up and get them in the oven and hurry up and get the bacon over with so that I can stop heating up my house. Even though in like 2 hours the sun's going to be on the front of it, and it's definitely going to be hot in here because no air conditioner problems. Maybe it'll eventually get fixed. I don't know. He called me this morning. They're still waiting on one of the parts, and he said if he knew it was going to take this long, he would have just quoted us for a new air handler. Not what I was looking to pay for, but, you know, if we would have done that, we would have already had it fixed by now. And like I said, it's not a super, like, oh my goodness, we don't have air thing for us, except for in the evening, and it messes with our life, my life. Like, I only can do laundry in the morning because I don't want to run the dryer at night, or even in the evening. After like 12, I don't want to be doing laundry. It's at 10 o'clock this morning, it was 74 degrees already, and you don't want to be doing laundry. Anyways, and I can't cook correctly, which, you know, I say it all the time, I'm going to say it again. We're not really big eaters in the summer, but just knowing I can't do something because of whatever reasons. I mean, I can do it, but it's just too hot, but that means I can't do it. It messes with me, okay? I'm not one of them people that can be told that I can't do something. My spirit doesn't do well with that kind of thing, you know? Anyways, back to the cookies.
When I was lost and hopeless, when I was at my worst, it's grace that you extended that I did not deserve. I am so amazed by all you have done. I cannot explain the depth of your love. Limits can't contain the heart of you, God. I'm amazed at the depth of your love. Your mercy came and found me Hallelujah. Forever I give thanks. Hallelujah. Love has made a way. Hallelujah. Yeah, forever I give thanks. Oh, and I am so amazed by all you have done. I cannot explain the depth of your love. Limits can't contain the heart of you, God. I'm amazed at the depth of your love. Oh, and I am so amazed by all you have done. I cannot explain the depth of your love. Limits can't contain the heart of you, God. I'm amazed at the depth of your love. I'm amazed at the depth of your love. Yeah.
And I decided to go a little bit extra and dye the icing for the cupcakes. Now, you've heard me rave about the Great Value canned icing quite often. It's our favorite flavored canned icing that we've ever tried. However, it doesn't do well when you try to manipulate it in any way. It doesn't do well when I put it into a piping bag. It doesn't do well when I add any food coloring into it. So, might not be the best icing to actually, use on a cake that you want to decorate much with it, unless you just want it like as a base. Now, I had already realized this, but I forgot that I'd realized this. So I'm putting this out there so maybe I can remember it and maybe you need to know it as well. So I was trying to do red, white, and blue because, that's the theme because America and all that. But for some reason, the white wasn't coming out, and I'm guessing because I didn't really manipulate it. So the other two, the red and blue, was more liquidy, so it rushed out of the piping bag when the white just wanted to hang out and, relax. They're fine. They still tasted good. The kids said they tasted good. That's all that matters, is that they tasted good. But they wasn't my best work, which everything's not going to be your best work. That's just not how stuff works, right? But they was okay. They was cutish. The kids thought they tasted good. Close enough to a win. Okay, so the chicken, it was pretty good. It did need a little bit more flavor, in my opinion. I should have overly seasoned it. The kids liked it. The Mississippi chicken is better. But that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed hanging out with me in the kitchen and getting some stuff done. As always, remember to show grace, be content, and live blessed. Bye, friends.